here. Yeah, paste it. Anyone,
Otherwise,
any
I
other?
can share the screen.
Sure, please go ahead. Anyone else? Any other questions? I still didn't get the host access, so I couldn't able to make you as a co-host. Let me check.
I share. Hello. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, sorry guys. I was talking to management for getting the host access. Yeah, now I got the host access. Go ahead. Okay, Sri, I made you as a co-host. Go ahead and sharing your screen,
Sir,
please.
I shared my screen. And also, I'm trying to log in, sir, but it is not logged in.
Okay, in that case, can you please clear the console and go to the network before you click on login? Okay, click on network tab. Okay, yeah, now you go with the, yeah, filling the details.
Here it is successful.
Okay, click on the second one. So click on the response. So you got the response as invalid credentials, right?
Yes, sir.
So why it is invalid? Might be in your database. You might not be having the data. You would have set up your,
I have, sir. Uh, can I show you
yes,
that
please.
one?
Okay, so if you see, you don't have that ABC, right? You have the mail ID ABC. Okay, you have it. Mail ID ABC at Gmail and the password is hello123. So did you get the same? Go back there. Go to the payload. So you give it as hello123. Mail ID. Okay, go back to your DB ones.
Database.
Mail ID and hello123. Okay, so in that case, can you open your command prompt and scroll down, completely down from get Mongo connection? Scroll down. Is user logged in? False, it is going. Okay, go back to that validate user credentials.js from the left side. Service validate user credentials.js. User credentials, find request.body. After line number 7, you can console what actually you are getting a response.
User credential.
A response. Directly you can put on the response. Okay, and in between, go to that get MongoDB connection method. Control, please. Yeah, where is that? You can press Control and click on that get MongoDB connection. It will go to the definition. Control key, yeah. So this guy is database. If type is equal to find collection dot find data dot to array. Okay. So at line number 14, console the data.
The collection.
No, no, data. The response
Date.
what we are passing. Okay, cool. Now you can run it. I think service automatically restarted. You can go to the UI.
This one, sir, a server changes
Server, I
and
think you already did with the node one, right? It will automatically restart.
okay.
You don't need to reload actually. You can simply start, click on the button because UI didn't had any changes, right? Okay. Now you go
Here
to your,
also it is displaying invalid
yeah, because
credentials.
obviously, right? I mean, the response has been coming like that. Mm, Go back to your console, terminal. Okay, scroll down, completely down. Okay, so you see the response is coming as empty array. Can you copy that mail ID ABC Gmail is there, right? Copy that guy. No, no, complete object, one object. Details tab. On the top, there is something called as type a query is there, text box is there, right? Paste there.
IP.
No, no, in the top you have, right? Yeah, paste it.
I think your
Remove the top.
database name is wrong. I think whatever is mentioned in the logs and the code.
Yeah, we'll see that. Can you please maximize this window, ma'am? Mongo Compass window, maximize it. Okay, now you say find. Click on that find button on the right side. Yes. Okay, implies the data is there. You're putting the right query. Okay, so the collection name what you're giving is user credentials, and the database name what you have is shopping app. Okay.
Also different, sir.
Yeah, if you see here, the name what you give is SHOPPING.
Okay, can I modify here, sir?
It is better to, no, no, don't do that. Cancel. It is better you modify at your code only, right? Correct it. Instead of SOS shopping ing. Yeah, save it. It should work. That's a good catch.
Thank you.
Is it case
Okay,
sensitive, sir?
it is.
Okay, I think that
So
Okay,
case
yeah,
after
needs to be
login,
solved.
it needs to close by default, right, sir? This
it
one.
has to. But actually, it is still not at validated, right? You have done the DB. Okay, now, okay, try to click on. Okay, clear the console and try to click on that once again. See what is the response you're getting from the user credentials. Response.
S should be small, I think. The database shopping database.
Oh, go back there. Have you kept the same name?
Yes, small letter here, and in the application, I think yes, sir. This is mismatch.
Yes. Click on that user credentials. Response. Click on the response. What is the response you're getting? So it is valid, right?
Valid.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But if you see, it is still taking you to the localhost 5173. The reason is you have the latest code of the previous date, not yesterday. If you open your React client code, there is something called as a route protector. Under that, we have made it as false. Can you go to your route protector on the left side? Go to your client server. Okay. Not the server guy, client code. Go to, yes, protected route.ts is there, right? Yeah. So here we forcefully made that guy scroll up. Okay, you have the latest only.
Yes, sir.
So is authenticated is coming as false for you. That is the reason he's redirecting back to the home page.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Instead of children.
No, not here. Here, right? I mean, when it is line number 4, okay. Go to main block.tsx. So here you're using the protected route. Scroll down, please. Yeah, is user logged in, right? At line number 33. That he is user logged in is coming as false. That is the reason it is redirecting back to this guy. But where is this he is user logged in is coming? Scroll up. Uh, set user logged in equal to false. Okay. So response.data.is user logged in. Okay, go to the browser, reload it, and start from the new. Okay, click on the okay, just reload it. Yeah, now you go for login. Yeah, that's it. Okay,
Sir, thank you very much.
no problem. I'm sharing my screen back. Anyone else? Any other
I am
questions?
going to stop.
Sure, ma'am. Any other
Sir,
questions?
yeah, yes, sir. Actually, yesterday for the web service, you are using like authorization headers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, sir, in that case, also still the URL is working in a Postman, sir. Is it getting successful?
In the Postman, it is getting successful, right?
So there you have to provide the authorization headers, right? Without providing, also it is getting success.
No. Say, for example, we were looking into the product details. Where is that? Product details, right? So here, understand the logic at the server side. Now, in the server, anyone who hits this web service, what actually we are doing, we are just consoling this request or session, and am I directly hitting the response or not? And I'm directly going with, okay, what is the DB connection? Search for it and get the data, right? So where is the protection here? Obviously, you will be receiving the data. How you need to protect it? In order to protect the data, you need to see that if user passed JWT token is valid. If it is valid, then only we need to do this guy. Else, you need to say invalid request. So this we haven't done, right? I was telling you guys, right? I'm just telling. Someone had a question that, boss, the sessions itself is why needed. You can just do that using your JWT itself. So I was telling that JWT intention is different and sessions intention is different. Using JWT, we are going to protect our web services to the authorized users. In order to implement it, now you need to see what the user is passing the JWT. And is the JWT token is valid or not? If it is valid, then you need to do this. And in order to implement this guy, how the user will pass the JWT token at the time of valid user credentials. When I was saying that user, you are a valid credential, along with this, I will be passing the bearer token. We will be creating a JWT token. We will be passing to that guy so that next time when he's coming, he will carry that token to me. Accordingly, I'm going to respond back to him. Am I
Yes,
clear?
sir, I got it. But sir, what my doubt is, anyhow, we are using Express session, right? So, like, why can't we use the same session? Like, if request.session.mail ID exists, then only we will give that DB connection.
When
That is
user is calling the product details, why he will be passing the mail ID? When the user is going for the next request, which is get the product details, why the user has to pass the mail ID password again?
no, sir. After login itself, he's clicking on that. It is navigating to the product details, right? After
Yes.
login.
Okay.
So at the time of login, anyhow, we are going to provide the credentials.
Yes.
So why can't we take that session.request.mail ID? If that exists, we will provide the DP connection. That is
What
what
if
I'm
like, okay, one
asking.
second. In that case, one user has already passed the request.session. Do you think that other user won't be, what if, say, for example, I'm an admin user. I'm a different user and you're a different user. Assume like you're an admin user. You logged in. And in the same session, if I also try to hit the service, just if I check that in the session, there is a mail ID, that is the reason I am responding back. How can I sure that you are a valid user? What you are saying is, boss, anyway, when I come over here, so request.session is having some data. It is saying like valid user, it is saying that mail ID, it is having that etc. details and all. Based on that, you can respond. Okay, I will respond. Some other session being created and some other user is request is being other user is passing the request. Now, if I just see that whether that session is having some data or not, based on that, if I respond, I am not checking the authorization here, right? Authentication and authorization. Authentication is you're getting entered into the system. Authorization is whether you are a valid user for the particular service or not.
So,
Um,
so that means session will not support the authorization, you're saying. Only it is used for authentication.
Obviously, yes. Session will say that whether you are a logged in user or not logged in user. If you have to protect the authorization, then you need to go with the JWT tokens and all. And authorization, indirectly you can say that, okay, I'll just simply say that if the request.session is there, I'll simply pass it. But that is not a valid way of validating, protecting your services, not through sessions. It has to be through JWT tokens.
Not only sessions, why can't we check even with session.user mail ID exists?
That is what you're saying, right? I mean, you are only checking that whether it is existing or not. That's it, isn't it? You're only checking whether a section is request.session.is is equal to mail ID is there or not, or user ID username is there or not. That's it. You're only checking that username is there or not. Now, for example, one user has logged in and I have not done the logout. Implies in the session you have that, right? Now someone will
Yes.
directly hit that URL and hit it. He will get the response, but that is not the valid way, right?
So it will happen with JWT also, right? The session expiration time is very too long.
Doesn't matter, right? In
Then
JWT,
also
you
it
are
works.
carrying me the token. In JWT, I'm not at all bothered about the session. You are carrying me the token. If the token is valid, I'm going to respond back to you. And the token itself has an expiration time. After 5 seconds, it will auto expire. I mean, not by default, but we can set it. When we are creating a JWT token, we can mention that after what time it is going to get expired. Timestamp also will be part of JWT token. Am I clear? In JWT token, we are not checking that whether token is been passed or not, but we are checking whether the passed token is valid or not. Clear, ma'am? Can I go forward?
Sir, I'm a bit confused. Actually, I was thinking we can use either express session or JWT both.
No. We can use both. We can use both. I mean, both are needed for your project, but you want to use only express sessions to validate it, cannot be done.
I was thinking both are there to serve the same purpose.
No way.
But
Okay, forget
in
about this, validating this.
the
Using
launch
JWT,
application.
how you will see, using JWT token, how you are going to validate a user is logged in or not. Okay. In the same way, using session, how you can say that whether you are a valid user or not. Under the session, I'm just simply checking the time between the login and logout. That's it. In between, he will be serving anything. It doesn't work, right? Let me show you one of the existing application. Do I have the code? I think you are already part of the TY full stack, right? At that time, we implemented the JWT also.
Yes. Sir.
So, TY classes.
But what I was thinking is the express session is having some disadvantages, so that is the reason we are going for JWT.
No, no,
Uh,
it is not at all disadvantage. It is not like disadvantage. It's based on the token. I mean, session is completely different, right? How do you say that whether a user is part of the session or not just by using JWT? Just by using JWT token, forget, okay, you're saying that sessions are not working and JWT can do that job. Okay, you have a JWT token. Now, how do you say that whether that user is part of that session or not? How you are going to kill the user session forcefully from the client side by clicking on logout? I click on logout. How do you tell the server saying that, okay, user want to destroy that session just by using JWT? You tell me, how do we kill a session?
So we store the JWT token in local storage or session storage, so that from there we can do local storage dot clear like that. It will be
we can remove it.
Ajitesh, I know that you are from the very starting, you are very much keen on, I think you are the one who asked about this JWT token.
Yes.
Here we are not talking about like, where do we store it? Okay, after you get the token, you store in session storage, you store in local storage, you store in a file. That's a different thing. But here what we are talking is, her question is, without using express session, just by using JWT, how I could able to implement sessions. In fact, like that is what my question is. She's saying that like might be express sessions are not doing the exact job. That is where we are going with the JWT. Okay, then in that case, my question is, just by using JWT, assume like in an application, there is a JWT being used, web token being used. Now using that, you tell me how you're going to kill a session in your server. Okay, yeah, Swati, hope you understood my question. Just
Yes,
by using JWT, how you're going to kill the session. Okay, if you see
sir,
here,
here using express session, are we exactly deleting that session?
yeah,
No, right?
who said no? We are right. Logout session. What are we doing here?
Sir, actually, the session will be stored in the browser cache
No,
when it is created.
request.session. Is it at the client side or the server side? Client doesn't even know what is the session is.
Sir, server side also, where exactly it will store, not in the browser. Okay, it will be client, the browser coming to browser, it is client side.
Browser is client side. This is at the server side, right? On each and every request, it is having its own session, own memory. On each and every request, you will be having a different cache memory will be created in the server, which will be there until you restart it or you kill it. Clear?
Sir, can we see that session, sir, actually what it has created?
Yeah, when I'm saying request.session, you could able to see that right in the console.
No. Actually, where it is storing, sir, that at.
How can
Exactly.
you see the memory allocation or memory structure of the server side? It is from the server, right? In the server, we can't see, like, I mean, it is not browser that we can go with the debugging tool and we can see, but in the server side, it is having its own memory management system. We can't explore it or we can't have access for that. Okay.
Actually, let me work on both things and I'll get back to you.
I didn't get you, ma'am. Could you repeat again?
No, sir, I think I need to work on both the things again.
Sure,
JWT
sure,
also.
sure.
So after that, I can get back to you, sir.
Sure. Okay, but just to explore for others who don't have idea of JWT token, right? For example, if you see, this is one of the again like shopping application which is without React we created. So where when we go with validate user credentials, if you see here, after we validate the user credentials, we are the one who is creating. So here we still have the session concept and all. I'm just storing the session ID, etc. and all. Along with that, I am the one who is going to generate a token for the user. You see, this is the token which will be responded back to the user. Now, what he will be doing next time when he is coming to the product details, you see, for example, get product details. While he is coming, he will be passing user passed JWT token. You see here, request dot header. He is the one who is going to pass me the token. He just not asking that, okay, give me the product details. He is passing the token also here. Now I will check that is the JWT, whatever the token user has passed, is it is valid or not. If it is valid, I will be going with responding the data. If he is not passing the data or if the token is not valid, I simply say that error while getting so and so, or you are an invalid user or so and so. So this is how I am protecting my web service here. So if I say that no, express.session will be enough, no, it is not enough. I'm using tokenization or token-based authorization in order to validate whether you are a valid user to get access to this service or not. Okay. Sessions are mainly used in the UI. If I'm using login, logout, etc., that is where I'll be going with the session. But if I have to go with protecting the web services, for sure you need to go with the tokenization. Okay. I think Ajitesh, you're also clear. You're mainly into this. Now, if you see whatever the token I am passing, in case of your validate user credentials, whatever the token I am passing to the user, right? I'll be passing to the user saying that, okay, this is the token what I'm passing. Now, where I'm going to store this? So that guy, under your JavaScript, under your login, if you see, when I'm getting the response back from this guy, I will be storing this guy into session storage. You see, I'm taking the token. I'll be going into session storage and I'll be storing the token in this way. So that on every reload of the page, I could able to pick the token and I will send it to the server saying that I'm a valid user. Okay. Clear,
Sir,
Ajitesh?
sir, at this point of time, like what if the server restarts, server fails?
Then if the server restarts, you're gone. You don't have anything.
Then-
That is the reason they don't restart the servers as in when you wanted. Only at the time of maintenance, like monthly, like 3 months, 4 months, that is where they will do. Server restart, here it is in my hand that I'm restarting the server, but in general, server restart is not going to happen very frequently. If you see, like sometimes you'll get a mail from like the banking applications also saying that, okay, we are under maintenance. That's where they're upgrading the system. That is where they restart the server. You are logging into your, say, for example, SBI online banking. In the background, the restart, your things are gone. The session is gone. You cannot work on it. But that is the reason, as I said, right? Server restart is not like a common thing which will happen every time. Any other questions?
Just for clarification, like session means it will be specific for the browser. Like if I created a session from browser, then it will
Exactly.
be
From
available
a,
for only that browser.
yes, not for the system, but for an individual request which is going from the one browser, one session will be created at the client server side in the same
How can
system.
how can we manage multiple sessions?
Multiple session from one browser, no way we can do that. From one
Not,
system,
not from one browser, then like different browsers.
why you need to maintain it? It is automatically happening, right? From the browser side itself. Sorry, from the server side itself. As I said, how the session will be created at the server end, it will be taking all the user header details. Okay, which include your browser details, your system info, okay, the timestamp, everything will be taken care. At the server, I'm going to create a session object. Now you're putting a request from the Edge browser. Okay, obviously it is creating a session object. You're creating a request from the Chrome browser. I'm going to create a separate request object. And I'm saying something called as Firefox. I'm going to create a separate session object. Independent to the browser. But in the Edge, if I go with a separate tab, no separate session will be created. It will say that you're already part of the session. I think I already shown that guy, right? Once after I log in, is my server is up. Once after I log in, I have shown you, right? We could able to hit the session object, what was that? Session web service. Work if I reload the page. User session details. If I open in the new tab, oh, this guy, we made it as a service, right? Okay, sorry, post communication. So if we hit this guy in this browser, you're going to get it as valid user. But if I do the same guy in your other browser, it is going to be a different session. It will not be the same. Am I clear? Right now,
Yes,
I
sir.
couldn't able to hit because I made this as a post.
Yes,
But
I
when it is
understand.
get, I have shown that example. Yeah.
So why, sir, like when we take any examination portals or application forms or anything, sometimes server will go down because of large number of users come on it. So why this happens, sir?
Okay. So not just only exam, even when you go with something called as IRCTC, that is the very best example. When you open for at the time of Tatkal time period, right?
Yes,
At
sir. Yes, sir.
time it is going to get down. It is very simple as it is. You have one single server instance. Do you think that, where is that? Okay, do we think that we have multiple IRCTC servers? No, one single IRCTC server we have, and obviously depends on the demand. Like, for example, this is a one single server I have. Right now, I am the only one who is hitting the server. What if like 1,000 requests comes to this, or million of requests comes to this? Obviously, like how I'm going to manage? Assume like I'm the guy who is sitting in the reception. 10 people have come for one of the surveys. I'm providing them. Assume like 1,000 people have come on the top of me. So it all depends upon my ability, my capability, right? How well I could able to respond back. Now, under that, under me, there is a concept of request management or user request management. Now, on the top, now how do we increase the performance of me? Saying that I could able to respond multiple. So there is a concept of clustering. There is a concept of improvising. I mean, there are different ways you can improvise the performance of the server. But the reason why they mostly come down is because of the total number of requests which are coming to me than what I could able to handle. That is the reason it will automatically go into shutdown mode. Again, it has to get restarted. And the other option is, yeah, as I said, right, clustering. creating multiple virtual copies of the one single server. Now you may ask, like, okay, in that case, like, why Google is not Google also, like, millions of requests are coming. Why it is not coming down? It's again the maintenance. I mean, how it is performing. So in the Google, what happens is, I mean, as part of the cloud, what they will do is they will deploy multiple servers instances in different data centers. Each and like, for example, when I'm hitting, it will not actually go to the US data center. It will find out what is the nearby data center. From there, I'm going to get the response. So that is how the management will be done. Whereas coming to the IRCTC, that is not the case. I mean, they might have deployed to the data centers, but not as much capable as handling millions of requests on that particular time period. In fact, if you remember, why people will put this uh, y- uh, confirm that whether you are a human being or not. You know why the reason? That is the reason. They don't want, for example, you have created one of the server. I have a grudge on you. I want to make your server down. What I will do, I'll just keep on clicking on login button, but that is valid. I mean, you still can't get that down. Why the reason? Being a human being, you can't click on that button million number of times in second of time, or in say 10 seconds of time. Can you click million number of times on the same button? No, as a human being you can't do. But what if programmatically I can do? I will put a for loop. I will just say that, okay, keep hitting this web service URL. Now, if it is now hitting a web service URL, is there is a request being sent to the server. Again, second request, again, third request, again, for millions of requests are going. Then the server can't handle it, will automatically come down. That is the reason they will only allow the click. They will only allow the API call only if you are a human being. So if you are a human being, that's a valid request. If you are a bot, I mean, programmatically the request is coming, then I don't serve you. I don't take that request to the server so that my server is safe. Okay. Any other questions?
Last one
Okay.
more question, sir. Just related to anyway we are discussing about this.
Yeah, go
Like,
ahead.
how do we implement this SSO, all those things, sir? SSOs, single sign-ons,
Single sign-on, right? So single sign-on is again the same. For example, right now, have I implemented the single sign-on in our application?
no, I guess we are using some DB. Yeah, we are using some
Okay.
MongoDB as a backend. Yeah.
No. I mean, single sign-on doesn't come to the MongoDB also. Single sign-on is the concept of you have multiple applications, but you use the same sign-on in order to log into the multiple applications. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes, for example, when I go to the organization, I have something called as I have logged into my mail. Okay. I have logged into my workday. Workday is, I mean, the place where our like actual office, like IT related, or else, for example, IT ticket raising system. I have one application. So every time it doesn't ask for your ID and passwords. Instead, what it will do is once you log in into one of the application, it will take the same sign on, it is going to take the same data, and it is going to pass it to the other application. The advantage, I mean, how it is going to use is maximum time they will be using I mean, honestly, I'm not too much deep into that. I'm not much aware of like deeply how the single sign on is going to get implemented. But one thing I'm sure is, again, the token based authorization, it is going to happen whenever user logged into one of the application, they are going to create a token and they are going to keep it inside their browser. Now when the other tab is coming, when I go with this other login, first thing what they will do is they will take the same token what is being stored. The advantage what I have with your local storage and session storage is this web page. If I go to if I go to one of the web page, and if I'm going to create a local storage, go to this application. If I go to this local storage or the session storage, right? The data what we are going to store here can be accessible even in the other tab. Okay, that is one way. And they might even take that once the one application is getting signed in, they might take the token, they might put into the cookie, And when the second application is getting open, I will read the data from the cookie saying that, okay, this is the token what user has added. Now I will pass it to the server. They will say that whether user is logged in or not. And based on that, that sign in or session will be created, and accordingly they are going to respond back to us. Okay, so again, as I said, right, with my experience of, I haven't, because SSO we implemented it, but we have not developed it. But something related to that, we have done this. Like in one tab, the user is logged into other one, and in second tab, I have to read the session. So we have done in same way. Either is storage, or from the cookie, I could able to read the token, and based on that, I'm going to validate it. Okay, and SSO is one of the good terminology which will be used in your interviews, guys. People will ask you any idea of SSO. It's very simple, like using the one single sign-on to log into multiple applications. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, going forward, right? Yeah, I think like
Just a follow-up question on it.
go ahead.
So how single sign-on will work, sir? Like I have different applications, I have different passwords for it.
No. If it is different password, it's not going to work.
Okay, I have to maintain a single password for
Not like
different
maintain, but when you go to the organization level, right? That is the reason I said in single sign-on, mostly used not outside of the organization. Now, for example, in the outside market, like in your personal laptop, you can't say that I'll be logging with Gmail, I'll be logging with Hotmail, I'll be logging with some Amazon with the same ID password. That is not single sign-on. But in organization, what happens is, for example, I logged in into, I'm going into my company. Okay, I have logged into IT portal where I can raise my IT request. I have logged into my like mails, okay, Outlook, so and so. I have logged into some Jira. I have logged into some other application. Okay, now when I'm going with multiple application, every time if I'm asking my ID and password for the same employee, I think it is invalid, right? Being an employee, why the hell I need to give the same ID and password once again? And for all the applications, I'm Prasad. And it is like same ID and password which I'm going to manage, which is my organization mail ID, organization that corresponding password. So that is where SSO will be used.
Understood.
Okay, yeah. Coming back to the main concept, which is your testing. Okay, so that is where we are now. So we have come to the concept of testing. So under the testing, there are two things, guys. One is automation testing, which will be done by your BDDs, which mostly the QEs will be handling. But again, nowadays in organizations, it is expected that you also work on that. So in order to implement that automation, either you'll be going with this VDDs or Selenium testing or Playwright. Lot of frameworks are available, which are called as automation testing. So in this automation testing, what actually we are going to do is, application is logged in. Okay, for example, I have logged in this application. Now the testing scenario, what I gave is, this guy has to have this logo, should have the cart icon. When the user clicks on sign in, the pop-up has to go. Now, if this is the case, when I'm asking, this is my scenarios. Okay, in testing, based on the requirement, you will be creating some scenarios. First scenario is we should have the header. Second scenario is user is clicking on sign in. Third scenario is pop-up has to come with fields like ID, password, and login button and all. Okay, these are like scenarios. Now, if I ask you, a tester guy, boss, could you please help in testing? He's going to do it manually, right? Manually, I will check whether icon is there or not. Manually, I'll check whether after clicking on this, login button is there or not. Or after filling the data on clicking of login, it is validating the data or not, which I'm going to do it manually. What is automation here? Instead of I doing it manually, I will be programmatically writing some instructions, which will be opening a headless browser. Headless browser is, I mean, in the background within the command prompt itself. It's not like actually opening the browser. There are two ways. It can open the browser, it can do it manually, or in the background, it can open the browser and it can see whether it is showing the buttons or not. On click of this, whether the pop-up is coming or not, automatically it is going to check and it is going to show you the results, whether passed or failure. So that is like automation testing. Right now, we are not talking about the automation testing. We are talking about the testing of your code, what you have written in your React or in your JavaScript or in your TypeScript. Okay, which we also call it as code coverage. You know, when you go into the real time, people will ask you, you need to have a code coverage of 100%. You need to have minimum code coverage of 90%, etc. What do you mean by code coverage? Whatever the code we have written, I am going to write a corresponding test cases saying that whether the code what I am going to write is going to work for every other request or not. Okay, code coverage is the concept of I am going to write a function, something called a sum of the values. Now I want to test that whether it is going to work fine or not. Okay, let me create a separate folder here. What is this? Okay, let me create a new folder, something called as testing. Okay, how I am going to simply write a piece of test file. Oh, something called as sum of or else math util.js file. Okay, I'm going to write some piece of method called as function add values of a1 comma a2, and I'm going to say where result equal to 0, and I say result is equal to a plus b return result. Okay, this is the piece of code what I am writing. I said like, okay, I have written the piece of method, it will work for some of the values. What is the guarantee? I want to check that for each and every parameter whether it is working fine or not. How do I test it? How do I say that my piece of code is working fine or not, or my piece of code is been covered or not, saying that okay, for any parameters whatever I pass, it is going to respond back. And the other advantage what we have is, in future, if it is being modified, the test cases will automatically stop you, saying that okay, it is not working as expected. Okay, that is also one of the advantage. But yeah, my first requirement is I have to test this piece of code whether it is running fine or not. So how you're going to do that? In order to do this, we have n number of libraries. Okay, there are lots of JavaScript testing frameworks. There are lots of testing frameworks which are available, using which we could able to test your piece of JavaScript or TypeScript or so and so. Like Jest is mostly popular. Okay, Jasmine is also popular. There is something called as Karma. There is something called as Chai. Like this, there are n number of testing frameworks available outside in the market, which is used to test the piece of code what you are writing. As I said, automation is different. For doing automation, there is something called as Selenium. Okay, nowadays Playwright. Okay, this is one of the very popular. Okay, Playwright. Under that, there is something called as Karate, which is your backend APIs, backend APIs automation testing. So that will be used. Yeah, like this, there are n number of frameworks which are available outside in the market. Now we will be using Jest as a framework library in order to test your piece of JavaScript, TypeScript, or your React components also. React components also can be tested using your Jest library. Okay, so like this, you can go for any of the libraries what you wanted. Now, how you're going to start work? For example, I have this math_util.js. I want to implement this. I want to test this piece of code by using the Jest framework library. So how you're going to do is, let us say, okay, first of all, I have already added the steps here. Installing. Okay, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this Jest library here. I'm saying Control C. Okay, web server. I don't need this guy now. I'll go for this. Okay, CD testing. Okay, my expectation is npm install Jest. Okay, so when I say npm install Jest, it will be installing this Jest library. line. And one more thing is, this is a dev dependency. Okay, it is only at the time of development, not while executing. That is the reason it is expected that, you see, when I am doing the installation, I made it as -save-dev. Don't make it as a dependency, but make it as a dev dependency. You guys already know, right? What is the difference between the dev dependency and the dependencies? Okay, so now another part is when I'm coming into this testing folder, I mean, when I say dir, it's just only math.js, it's not a project. But here I want to make it as a project so that when I say npm run test, automatically it runs the testing files, etc. So those things I wanted. That is the reason I want to make this testing guy as a project. Okay, in order to do this, I'll simply say npm init. What does this npm init will do? It will create the package.json file for us. Now when I say npm init, package name is testing. Yes. And what is the version? Yeah, I'll go with 1.0.0. Description, package created to demonstrate testing. Okay, endpoint mathutl.js right now, yes. Testing command. I'll skip this guy. We can give those all things later. Okay, yes. Done. Now, once you go back here under your testing folder, there should be a file called as package.json. Okay, just to make that package.json to be created, I have gone for npm init. If you say that manually I'll be creating it, it's up to you. Not the TypeScript. Where is this testing? Okay. So if you see, this is what being created. Okay. Now, under the scripts, you see, what do you mean by test? Right now, he has just added something, but instead of that, we say that boss, use just in order to run your testing. Along with the just, we can add some extra parameters also, but right now I simply said like test means using your just, you're going to run your testing. Okay, that's it. Earlier we have seen like npm start, npm build and all. Now test is the one which we are going to add it. Okay. Now I go to your command prompt. If I say npm run test, it will automatically go to that script file. It will automatically run the just command on your folder, which is your testing folder. Okay. Now what it is saying here, boss, there are no tests been boss, there is no tests been found. How come it know that whether we have added tests or not? It is very simple. In case of your just, what you can do is whatever the file you have created, right? Math.util. For this, math.util, right? For this guy, you simply create another file which is math.util.test.js, as simple as it is. Any file which is having an extension of .tst, either .ts or .js or JSX or TSX, it could be anything. But if it is having something the same file name with .test, it will automatically run the test cases against to this mathutil.js. It will be automatically finding it out. You can't have the different file name. You can't say this guy is mathutil, I'll say abc.test. It will look for the abc.js file as a source code. Okay. Now, once after I do this, now I'm going to
Yes,
say,
but you have given dot, right? Math dot util.
sorry?
You have given that name as math.util.test, right? Should be
Oh,
math
sorry.
util.
Yes, my mistake. It is math.util.test.js. Okay, now I go to the command prompt. If I say npm run test, you see here it will automatically run the test cases against to your math.util.js. And it is saying that your test suite contains at least one test. You have not written any of the test cases here. Okay, any of the test cases we have not written here under your mathutl.ts. Now here, let us see how you're going to write the test case or code coverage for this mathutil. Let us close all. Who's this? Save this. Don't save. Okay, mathutil.ts and mathutil. The first thing is I have to import this guy. That is the reason I'll say module dot exports is equal to add values method. Okay, I'm exporting this guy so that I could able to import it. Now under your test, I'm going to say const say something called as add values is equal to require mathutil. Okay, I'm importing that method because I have to test this guy. Now, there is a predefined method which is called as test method. Test is a predefined method which is coming from your jest. Okay, now I say this guy, I'm saying that testing add values method to add one to add 5 and 6 to throw result as 11. Okay, this is like user defined description so that it will be easy when it is going to throw the report for us. What is being tested, that is what I'm passing. So test is a predefined method which is taking a piece of string which is saying that okay, what is the testing you have done here. Under that, I'm going to say expect is a predefined method. Again, we need to know what all the methods which are being used or what are the predefined methods what your jest is going to provide. But anyway, again, you don't need to by heart etc and all. We can use the co-pilots also in order to use this testing. Okay, so I'll go with this expect. What I'm saying is the expect, what I'm saying is this add values, expect add values of say some 3 comma 4 3 comma 4 dot to be something called as 7. Expect add values 2 comma 4 so and so. Okay, this is a piece of test cases what I have added. I'm expecting that when I'm saying add values of 3 and 4, it has to return me the sum of so and so. That's it. Okay. Now let us see this guy. Now when I'm running this npm run test, if I click on enter, it is saying that one is failed. Why so? Reference A is not defined. Okay. We have defined A1 and A2, and here we are using A1, A and B. A2. Okay, when I'm running npm run test, it is failing again. Testing add values. To be is not a function. Come on, to be is a function, right? There is a method called as to be. Expect is it is comma separated. To be is not defined. How come? Yeah, this is test add values 3, 4 to be. Yeah, I think this is
That
valid.
is the extra braces.
Yes, yes. Actually, right, expect dot to be is the one what we need to give. I gave it as a parameter. Okay, now I go for npm run test. Now we say that